call him 6'11". He played like he was 6'3" in that series in the last 4 games. In the fourth quarter of those 4 straight games, he completely disappeared. He was ineffective to the point he was shooting 29% from the field over those 4 games because they walled him off and said, you have a big hole in your game. You have no mid-range jump shot. You cannot hurt us from 7 feet or 8 feet or 12 feet. This year, he tried to shoot more threes, and sometimes he can be fairly effective from 3. Right. But when the pressure is on, he cannot be effective from 3 because he's not a very good three-point shooter. And you know and I know he is a liability at the free throw line, especially in playoff games. See what happened the other night against the Heat when he had a chance to make it a little closer. Remember, it was 43 seconds left, and he badly missed 2 straight free throws that surprised nobody. So here we go again against Miami, a smart team, tough team mentally and physically, with a good coach in Eric Spoelstra, and they just said, we're going to do what Toronto did last year. We're going to say, you can't have this anymore. In the regular season, he gets all he wants at the rim. He is this generation's Wilt Chamberlain, just finger rolling at the rim. He just swoops to the hoop and lays the ball home. And once he gets downhill on you, you know and I know, you cannot stop this man. No. But you can stop him with your mind and your strategy, because if you take that away, he doesn't have enough more to complement his game to hurt your defensive strategy of build a wall about 3 feet from the basket, right? Okay, that means by his standards, he is being overrated. I keep doing that, and I'll do it in all caps, overrated, because he did just do something only 2 other players have ever done. MVP, Defensive Player of the Year in the same year. And by the way, speaking of Defensive Player of the Year.
So what did Jordan do in that year?
Okay, that's fine. But he did it. Is that not a historic feat?
Giannis is going to do it. Is that not a historic feat?
Okay, I ask you, did Michael Jordan ever flame out in a playoff series the way LeBron did in 09, 10, and 11, twice for Cleveland and the first year in Miami? Did one time he ever have one playoff series where you said, Michael, what happened? You shrank, you disappeared. Nobody ever said that. Even when he wasn't getting out of the first round, he was scaring the holy hell out of the Boston Celtics, who barely swept him. They won close games each time. One game, the first game, he scored 63 and it went to overtime. They were relieved to get out from under the guy that Larry Bird called God disguised as Michael Jordan.
Okay, Skip, if we look at the last 3 finals LeBron has lost, he's 33, 11, and 9.
Okay.
So what credit do we get for that? Did he win? Did Michael Jordan win?
Yeah, once he broke through, he just won and won and won.
Skip,
he would have won 8 straight finals.
Skip, who's to say that Giannis, once he breaks through?
So here's the point. The Giannis I'm seeing, he's not an alpha. He doesn't have, as they say, that dog in him. He does not have takeover intangibles. He's a complementary star, and Richard is exactly right. He's in search of maybe not a Jordan, but a co-star. He's Anthony Davis in New Orleans, where he was the PER prince in search of his LeBron, and he found him. Anthony Davis does not have that dog in him, as Charles Barkley said a few weeks back. Anthony Davis is a complementary, a Robin to Batman. He's a supremely talented Robin. But you watch, now that the playoffs are starting for the Lakers and the spotlight is getting really bright and hot, let's see how Anthony does under that spotlight. This ain't Portland anymore.
Is that the same Charles Barkley that predicted Portland was going to win?
Okay, all right. But again,
so you nitpicking what he said. You he said Anthony Davis ain't not that dog, but you didn't mention he was absolutely wrong.
Charles is much better on like social issues that we're about to talk about in a few minutes on this show than he is predicting games.
Can I ask
he is foolish when he predicts games.
Can I ask you a question? So was Kevin Durant, when his leaving OKC, going to Golden State, was he Pippen?
Going to Golden State?
Yes, when Kevin Durant
left. I told you why he left.
It doesn't matter, Skip.
Yes, it does. What are you talking about? There you go again. You're moving the goalpost.
Skip.
I dug in up front on that in 2012. I said on television, on ESPN, Kevin Durant is going to leave Russell Westbrook because he can't stand playing with a primary ball-handling decision-maker who gets to decide every time up the court, my turn or your turn. I think it's my turn, and I got the ball in my hands. And we're seeing it right now with James. Can James win with Russ? It's hard.
Skip, we got here because Jay Williams said LeBron James and Scottie Pippen for going to leak up with D-Wade, and now you changed it again.
Oh, no, you changed the subject because you asked a bizarre question that was off subject. Now we get to Jay Williams. And he says, LeBron was a Pippen with D-Wade once. Well, no, he wasn't. And there we agree. Okay, it's just wrong-headed. I don't know what Jay is trying to say because, no, he wasn't. What had LeBron just done? Well, he'd won back-to-back MVPs. Did Scottie Pippen ever win an MVP? No, he didn't. That 1 year without Jordan when I think he finished third, I believe. Okay.
And he was the All-Star Game MVP.
He was an All-Star Game MVP. But at that point, LeBron had been a 6-time All-Star and twice won All-Star Game MVP. Right. He is Jordan-esque in his talent. Right. I don't think he has anywhere near Jordan's intangibles. That's highly debatable, but the point was he tried in Cleveland to do it by himself, and he ran into my Spurs in the 07 finals, and it's like, I'm the best player on the floor, but I got swept. And he was. He's the most talented player on the floor, and it's really by far that he was the most talented player. And then we turn around in 09, and he hits the shot heard round the world to save game 2 at home against the Orlando Magic. And then it starts to get rocky again, and he loses that series in 6 games. Flamed out. And then the next year, Boston became his last year, the first go-around in Cleveland. And you know what happened. It flamed out. He played one of the all-time great games on a Friday night at Boston in Game 3, and they're up 2-1, and they go, loss, loss, loss.
You see what you do, though, Skip? When LeBron James loses, he averaged 36 in that series. Hold on, Skip, just let me finish. When LeBron James loses, he always flames out. Michael Jordan loses, all you do is say, look at the numbers that he put up. You cannot have it both ways.
Time out. Against Boston, it got so bad that someone from LeBron's camp leaked to ESPN that LeBron had to be sedated before games 4, 5, and 6, all flame-out games for LeBron and the Cavaliers against the Boston Celtics because of an interpersonal issue, inter-locker room issue with a teammate. And I called baloney. In fact, I said, I need to be sedated because that got leaked because I don't believe he was sedated before those games. Then Dan Gilbert publicly accused LeBron of quitting in those games against the Boston Celtics, which obviously was leading to LeBron's departure. I take my talents to South Beach. He needed a big brother. This is what he was. LeBron at that point was Batman with Robin's intangibles. He didn't know how to win yet. He needed somebody, Dwayne Wade, a very close friend and a big brother figure, to teach him to win. You had to go to Baltimore and you taught some of those younger players, this is how you do it. This is how you handle this yourself. And Dwayne taught LeBron how to control his emotions, how to channel his energy in the right direction, how to quit reading social media, quit listening to what I say or anybody else says, and lock in on the goal at hand, which is finally in 2012 beating the Oklahoma City Thunder. But it took 2011. It was the all-time flameout for a superstar in the finals. It was the meltdown of meltdowns by LeBron James, and it taught him a lesson. I need to learn how to do this, and Dwayne helped him immensely, and everybody believes that. But nobody believes that he went there as Scottie Pippen. Everybody saw him
as that's what Jay Williams said.
Okay, well, that started it. So it was so wrong-headed by Jay Williams, in my opinion. Why would LeBron even respond to it? Why would you honor it? Why would you validate it? Why would you fuel the controversy?
The same reason when they asked Michael Jordan, could LeVar Ball beat him one-on-one in his prime? The exact same reason Michael Jordan responded. Because at some point in time, I'm just not going to let you keep spewing bull jive.
Huh, interesting. Well, what does it really matter in the throes of the playoffs? We're about to, they're starting tonight.
Are they playing that? Well, they weren't playing. He skipped. You make it seem like he was in the middle of a timeout, and Frank Vogel was drawing up a play, and he tweeted that response.
What happened to 0 dark 30?
He said it wasn't that. Didn't he say that?
Well, I thought that was because of social racial justice issues that he could follow
That's
those
not what
on
he said.
social
That's not what he
media.
said,
Well, I
Skip.
thought that
That's
was
not
the
what he
point.
said. Skip, he made it abundantly clear that he was not going to be that because it was a different situation. He's not at home, and he needs to keep his phones on so his kids, his wife, his mom, and things of that nature. So you've already made that abundantly clear. This is going to be unique.
Well, he kept his phone on in all those 0 dark 30 years. You don't think his wife couldn't get a hold of him at the arena? You don't think he had a cell phone that he kept open for his wife, Savannah?
No, Randy probably had that.
Okay, well, he could be reached.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing now, so don't give me that. So LeBron tweets. Explain to me why I can't say the word. I don't know why LeBron tweets these words.
Yeah, tweet it, Bron.
Explain to me what I got to do with this subject matter. Well, explain to me, LeBron, why you would even involve yourself in this subject matter.
See, that's what I don't get. When Jordan responds to something someone says.
You know what? It's the first and probably last time I ever saw Michael respond to anything. I covered him when he was a player. He just scoffed at anything anybody said.
Let me ask you a question. So when they talked about him and Clyde Drexler being in the same class, did he scoff or did he respond?
Respond on the court?
No. Did he?
He responded on the court.
Skip, stop it.
Well, he didn't go to the media and say...
Skip, did he, in the last dance, when they asked him about Clyde Drexler, did he respond, Skip?
Now?
See?
Well, what are you talking about? Did he respond? We're talking about, he's playing right now. Is LeBron still active?
No, he was not playing. LeBron James was, Skip.
LeBron is trying to get ready. He says, I'm over here minding my damn business. Well, mind it. Mind your business. What are you responding this for?